back at it again, and I've got two videos today that I'm going to be combining together, and you'll find out why, you know, when we get into it. But I think it's going to be a pretty interesting video, something a little bit different than what I've typically kind of checked out here on the channel, but something that I'm really interested in, especially because of the first video that I'm going to be showing you guys. With that being said, let's dive in.
Director Wray, I'm deeply concerned that the FBI and the Department of Justice have become thoroughly politicized. I think this is a problem that began during the Obama administration. I think it metastasized with career officials during the Trump administration, and I think it continues and is even worse today under the Biden administration. I don't believe you personally reflect that politicization, but I think you've been unwilling to root it out and unwilling to hold people accountable for the politicization. I hear regularly from FBI agents and from professionals at the Department of Justice who are dismayed that our law enforcement has been weaponized and politicized rather than remaining apolitical as it has been for the history of our country. Yesterday, it was reported that Project Veritas had obtained a copy of an FBI training material, which listed various symbols.
Project Veritas is always getting like some of the, you know, latest and greatest information about stuff. I need to figure out how they're infiltrating all of these different companies and organizations to get this stuff, because it's honestly incredible what they come up with.
Symbols and themes which in the FBI's estimation were indicative of, quote, militia violent extremism. Now, these symbols weren't things like the Ku Klux Klan or the Nazi Party, which naturally would be symbols of that, but instead they included, rather astonishingly, patriotic symbols of our nation and our history. Included on this list is the Betsy Ross flag. Now, that's fairly remarkable that the Betsy Ross flag in the FBI's indication is indicative of militia violent extremism, because among other people who have been publicly alongside the Betsy Ross flag, we have President Barack Obama, who was sworn in directly underneath two Betsy Ross flags. But it's not just President Obama. We also have President Biden, who was sworn in under Betsy Ross flags. It's not just the Betsy Ross flag. Also on this list is the Gadsden flag as a symbol of violent extremism. Now, the state of Virginia has a license plate for the Gadsden flag, as do many other states.
Didn't Ron DeSantis make that a Florida license plate as well? Could have swore I saw a video on that, but let me know in the comment section.
I think people would be astonished to find that having that license plate, the FBI indicates that you're a violent extremist. Also included on this is a text that I was particularly struck, is the Gonzales battle flag. Come and take it. As indicative of being a violent extremist militia. Well, I will self-report right now that every day in the Senate I wear my boots that have the Gonzales battle flag on the back of them. Director Wray.
Come and take it. I like it.
What are y'all doing? This makes no sense. Do you agree with this FBI guidance that the Betsy Ross flag and the Gadsden flag and the Gonzales battle flag are signs of militia violent extremism?
Well, Senator, I'm not familiar with the particular document you have behind you, and I'm not in the practice of trying to comment on documents that I haven't recognized, but I will tell you that when we put out intelligence products, including ones that reference symbols, which we do across a wide variety of contexts, we usually take great pains to put caveats and warnings in the document that make clear that a symbol alone is not considered evidence of violent extremism, and it's...
Well, but Director Wray, you don't include things like Antifa, you don't include things like Black Lives Matter. Instead, you identify patriotic Americans as suspects, and I would note there's a pattern of this.
So that was the first video, and I wanted to hear that because the second video is speaking about one of the particular flags that was, you know, posted on that bulletin board, and it's the "Don't Tread on Me" flag. I have seen it places, never really understood what it meant. Honestly, never really cared, to be completely honest. So, yeah, let's jump into that and let's learn the meaning of that flag.
The Gadsden flag was also created at the founding of our nation in 1775. It was used actually by the Continental Marines, so badass. Yeah, they fought for our freedom from the tyrant King George. And the interesting part of the history here, and this is where I really nerded out. I hope that you will indulge my nerdiness in this sense.
Yeah,
the reason that the rattlesnake is on this flag, the reason that the rattlesnake is, I guess, a symbol of the United States, even though it's a disgusting, gross snake animal. It's not exactly an animal that we would typically embrace or typically say, yeah, let that be the symbol for us. Well, the reason that it is a symbol of the United States is because, like the bald eagle, it's only found in America. So it set us apart from the British Empire. It was a symbol that only we could claim and not the British. And the person who brought the symbol of the rattlesnake representing America into prominence was none other than Benjamin Franklin. Yeah, Benjamin Franklin. I actually did not know this until...
Wow. I had no clue about any of this. Obviously, that's the reason why we're here. But, you know, when I was seeing that original video, I just found it interesting that simple flags were being highlighted. And, you know, I was realizing, wait, I don't even know what some of these flags even mean. So why not learn the history behind them? Learn exactly what they mean. What was the other one? The Betsy Ross flag and the Come and Take It. So if there's any good videos on those as well, the history behind those, let me know in the comment section or DM me on Instagram or Twitter, or join the Discord server and you can drop the video in the Discord server. The Discord server is the first link down below. All right, let's continue on.
I researched this flag earlier. In fact, I want to read you something that Benjamin Franklin wrote. This was in December of 1775. And he wrote this anonymously, but, you know, we can always identify when it's Benjamin Franklin. And he actually was arguing in favor of the rattlesnake being one of the official symbols of the United States of America. He said that this was a good symbol of American spirit. He said, and this is a quote, "There was painted a rattlesnake with this modest motto under it: 'Don't tread on me.' She has no eyelids. She may therefore be esteemed an emblem of vigilance. She never begins an attack, nor, once engaged, ever surrenders. The rattlesnake is solitary and associates with her kind only when it is necessary for their preservation. 'Tis curious and amazing to observe how distinct and independent of each other the rattles of this animal are, and yet how firmly they are united together, so as never to be separated, but by breaking them to pieces. The power of fascination attributed to her by a generous construction may be understood to mean that those who consider the liberty and blessings which America affords and once come over to her never afterwards leaves her, but spend their lives with her." I gotta tell you, I personally am not a huge fan of snakes, and I never thought that I would read writing about reptiles that would give me the chills, but I got the chills when I read this because I thought, Benjamin Franklin is so brilliant, probably a really weird guy in his personal life, at least according to history, but so brilliant to be able to tie the symbolism in together to talk about vigilance and assertiveness and individualism and liberty and federalism. I mean, the rattles on the tail are the states and the country, you know, the fact that we are not an imperialist nation, that we don't attack unless we are attacked first, and then we respond with overwhelming force. I mean, this is really good stuff. This is really good stuff.
It is crazy. That's not something that I ever would have thought of in a million years. Legit. You could have sat me down and said, hey, I'll pay you $1 billion to figure this out, and I wouldn't have.
And for this reason, the rattlesnake symbol was actually adopted by the Continental Congress in 1778. In fact, this flag is still flown officially in some towns in South Carolina, where the designer of this flag, his name is Christopher Gadsden. That's where he's from, and this flag is still flown there. But here's the thing. The FBI identifies the Gadsden flag as a possible symbol that you, my friends, are a domestic terrorist. But there are states across the country where you can actually get a license tag on your car, courtesy of the state, that encompasses the Gadsden flag. So we're talking in Alabama, you can get a license tag with the Gadsden flag. In Arizona, in Kansas, in Maryland, in Missouri, in Montana, in Oklahoma, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, and Virginia. You can do this. So riddle me this.
I think Florida now too.
How can different states allow a symbol of violent extremism, a symbol that you are a domestic terrorist, to be part of an official state program, right? Getting your license tag, when the FBI also says that if you do this, you are a terrorist? There is no logical consistency with the.
So, a very interesting history lesson, and the whole writing that she recited, you know, about how the rattlesnake symbolizes America and how the rattles are so unique and different from each other, but they can't be separated unless they're destroyed, you know, kind of talking about the states and how each state, you know, kind of has its own unique culture and group of people, yet we can't be separated unless you break apart the entire thing. Right. And then the talk about the eyelids, you know, the vigilance and the ferociousness when you know there is an attack, which obviously, you know, the U.S. can be ferocious when we do go after someone, and you definitely don't want to get bit by a rattlesnake. All right, it's about as close to a death wish as you could possibly get. All right, I don't know how popular, you know, the anti-venom for a rattlesnake is, you know, how many places even have that, but I don't want to find out, okay, for sure at all. But also, you know, talking about the individualism of it, you know, the independence, but also when need be coming back together, right? And I think that kind of spoke to the situation now, because we're all individual people, but now that we need to kind of come back together because we're seeing what's happening to our nation, you kind of, through a lot of these videos, you kind of see a lot of folks coming back together. For example, you know, people that you never would have said or never would have thought would vote Republican are like, nah, I'm standing with the Republicans right now. You know, a lot of people are coming together, which, you know, kind of goes back to what she was reading there. So I find that very, very interesting. And, to know all of the different states that allow that to be on the license plate was very, very interesting as well. And like I said, I think Florida is on that list now too. But to hear the FBI say that that's like people that have that should be put under watch is just crazy. But hey, little brief history lesson. Shout out to Liz Wheeler for the history lesson. If there's any other videos on this flag or any others, the Betsy Ross, the Come and Take It, I think there was one other one as well. I can't remember. But like I said, if there are any other history videos, you know, facts videos that talk about those, let me know in the comment section below, or you can drop the link to the video in the Discord server. All right. Peace and love. I'm out.